Alrighty, so I wanted to talk about the Game Boy app on Nintendo Switch, and it's been great going through and reliving some of these bite-sized adventures on the big screen. And they're emulated pretty well too, but it's not really hard to do that, I guess. I'm looking forward to a few other games, and there's a couple that I'd really like to see on here. Okay, so starting off first, I gotta go with Super Mario Deluxe. I think we'll see this on here at some point, but for those who think it's just another port of Super Mario Bros., think again. Not only does it include lost levels as a bonus game, there are a bunch of neat added features like the Boo Race mode and a challenge mode where you have to collect red coins, find hidden Yoshi eggs, and beat the high score of each level in the game. You never really see stuff like this nowadays, which is a bit of a shame, and even if the resolution is smaller, it's still a treat. Even if you're used to the original one, this one might throw you for a loop, so try it out. I'm a fan of the Game & Watch Gallery games, but how cool would it be to get the European exclusive Game Boy Gallery on the Switch? Now this gets confusing because the Game & Watch Gallery series is known as Game Boy Gallery in Japan, but this is a different game. This essentially acts as a precursor to that series, and it doesn't feature the modern classic modes that we're used to. And to be honest, most of the games on here have been re-released, but I think it's really just good to have on here for preservation and historical purposes. It's got a cool little aesthetic, and it removes all reference to any Nintendo characters actually, but it's pretty fun. And how often do we get a European exclusive? Come on, make it happen, Nintendo. Next up is Balloon Kid, released as Balloon Fight GB in Japan, and it's similar to the Donkey Kong game for Game Boy, where it takes the original game's concept and expands on it, this time featuring full levels and boss fights to partake in. You can actually walk along on the ground and release your balloons, inflate them when you need to, and take off again. There's a 2-player mode that the Switch Online can definitely take advantage of, and it's a lot of fun. If you like the NES original, you're definitely going to enjoy this one. This footage that you're seeing here is from the Japanese exclusive version, which adds Game Boy Color features and was released exclusively through the Japanese Nintendo Power service. Now come on, how cool would it be to finally get this in the West? The original Game Boy version is good, of course, but who doesn't like color? Now of course at some point we're going to be getting Pokemon. I think it's pretty obvious, we all know it. When is the question? And some might ask, well, with so many options to pick from, why be excited for early gens to come back? Well, I mean, nostalgia really. There really is no getting around that, especially if you come from my generation. I was smack dab in the middle of the first Pokemania when it reached the States, and Gen 1 and Gen 2 having a re-release on the 3DS is good, but I have so many more friends who have Switches, and we can play this on a big screen TV. Come on, it's just a no-brainer. And on top of that, we can have battles online. It needs to happen. There's the simple nature of the original Pokemon games that always brings me back. I haven't played the new ones, to be honest, and I think for a lot of old fans, they can be overwhelming. Picking a starter Pokemon, traversing the Kanto region, taking on gym leaders and taking down a criminal organization, to digging deep into Cerulean Cave to find the world's most powerful Pokemon. Gen 1 has it all when it comes to an adventure of epic proportions. Time machines haven't been invented yet, but this is as close as it gets for me. Finally, we know Oracle of Seasons and Ages are definitely coming to Switch. They were in the commercials. But if you're a fan of the series, you know that there was a third game in development, but it was stopped because of a host of issues. But I wonder if those would still be a problem nowadays. I'm sure Nintendo has working builds of the cancelled Legend of Zelda Mystical Seeds of Courage somewhere. I've always been an advocate for Nintendo getting these region-locked games or cancelled games out to the public. It'd be a huge step, and I think it gives the fans much more reason to get the pass, kinda like the Super Nintendo Star Fox 2 thing. Sure, Nintendo can just re-release games till the cows come home, but to go beyond that and give us a game that couldn't be released before due to financial or technical pressures and now can be thanks to modern tech and the modern landscape, it would be awesome and I'd love to see it. And that's about it. It's a bit of a weird list since one of them seems like an extreme long shot. What do you think though? Agree? Disagree? What else do you want to see on the Game Boy app? I had a few other options, but I think they're too left field to happen, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.